progressives ignore it.
I'm sorry, but that's simply not true.
You should be sorry because you're supporting.
No, I'm supporting anti-fascism. Listen, here.
Pakistani flag?
Yeah, that's the Kekistani flag.
Do you know who makes lists?
That's
Who?
the Pakistani flag's a meme.
Well, yeah, oh good.
Naming your group, the anti-fascist, doesn't prove and attitudes and actions that determine whether or not you're against fascism.
You're right, and so
I
do you
am
think
against
that
fascism.
street
That's why I'm
fighters
against
in
you.
the Proud Boys are fascists?
No.
Well, they are.
How? Prove
They
it.
support racist ideologies.
Which
They support-
ideology? They're against ethno-identitarianism. Ethno-identitarianism is a left-wing ideology.
Right, they support ultra-nationalism, though,
Correct.
anti-immigration policies,
Correct. All of which has
racial
nothing to do with
hierarchy
race. No,
policy,
Incorrect. That's where you got it wrong. The first two you were spot
militant
on.
What about suppressing other people's speech? Is that a fascist ideal?
Yes, suppressing other people's speech is a fascist ideal. But you know what? The fascists aren't going to suppress your speech right now. They're going to
Wait,
suppress
hold on.
your speech when they come to power.
Wait, so suppressing other people's free speech is a fascist thing.
Yes.
What about promoting violence against people who disagree with you? Is that a fascist ideology
That's
as well?
also a fascist ideology, but
with
that's
those
not
two things
specifically
said, hold on,
fascist.
wait, with those two things said, with the anti-fascist group, that's all you see: suppression of free speech and violence against those they disagree with, who is just exactly like the brown shirts of Nazi Germany. So explain to me how the Antifa, which stands for anti-fascism, is not a fascist group. Why aren't they on your list?
Well, leftist groups can't be fascist. Fascism is a far-right ideology.
Because the dictionary says that, right?
Well, yes,
Strictly principled anti-fascist.
What we saw were some brave people risking their lives.
That group protests fascism.
Antifa are people who go and they try to push back on these guys.
Come to fucking talk. I'm so fucking sick of your fucking Lord. How the fuck is the Lord gonna save us? We didn't come to talk. We come to bang it out. We didn't come to talk.
Spanish for black descent? What
Does it fucking matter?
I'm an American.
You're
That's
an
beautiful.
You're fucking
What kind
Tiger-
of American?
You look like
'Cause they're
fucking
different
Tiger
kinds.
Woods, punk.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
So I didn't come to talk. I come to bang it out.
You're the one
Hey, don't fucking touch me. Hey, don't fucking touch me. Do not fucking touch me. Don't fucking touch me.
Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me.
You're too angry. You're too angry. Go to the back.
I'm about to go into...
Why are you filming me? You see what happens? You see what the fuck happens?
All with
There's always a white person standing up for another white person. Stop it.
Thank you.
Stop being an apologist for your fucking people.
They don't believe in that.
I need some fucking water.
Non-violent. I'm not Martin Luther King.
Tell me why you're here. I'm here because Portland is not going to stand around while people march for hate and white supremacy under the guise of free speech. It is not free speech, it is hate speech. What do you intend to do about it today? We're going to make sure that they know every time they come here, they're going to get the response they want. Vilify us on the internet and make us look like we're the terrorists. Antifa does not stand for violence and never has and never will.
Deny.
They are strictly principled anti-fascists.
What we saw were some brave people risking their lives.
That group protests fascism. Maybe their tactics weren't exactly right. It's messy.
Antifa are people who go and they try to push back on these guys, but it is not the case that they are going around building an armed movement.
Fascism cannot be defeated through speech. You need to take it with the utmost seriousness before it's too late.
Black Lives Matter, the Antifa movement, is interested in preserving the fabric of America.
Antifa is one of those things that somebody came up with as a catchphrase so that you could say, you know, oh, there is violence on the other side.
According to Antifa's own words, what makes them different?
The difference between them and many of the other activist groups is the willingness to respond with violence.
You're gonna take the knife.
How much of a even you got?
I have like on the border between just a regular rifle and an assault weapon and a sawed-off style shotgun.
And then I've got a handgun. Yeah, I've got 2 AKs coming.
The willingness to respond with violence.
And just how violent can they get?
If you go down to like the military surplus store, the Navy surplus store, whatever, you can get like a K-bar for like $30-40, and it's just a combat knife. It's a fixed blade, 5 inches or so, but it's just you strap it on your leg and you're good to go. I mean, this one's like tiny, so you have to really stab them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like last ditch is gonna be
Blue Super.
Durham down here.
The media, who you think would jump on a story like this, well, their response is what's most disturbing of all.
He was just down there at President's Circle and they were handing out sharp objects to stab people with, said they had someone coming with an AK. Why did it take 2 late night hosts, comedians, to find this out?
You know what, I wish you guys luck.
Yes, you just saw correctly. Even being shown the footage in the presence of police officers to confirm authenticity, they walked away. Of course, the next day, when the inevitable violence that we warned about broke out, so-called journalists were all over it.
Cryptic messaging apps, private groups handing out illegal weapons and planning tactics. You mean to tell me that no one at ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN with billions of dollars in resources could have done this? It took Steven Crowder and not gay Jared to pull it off with some plane tickets and a couple burner phones? Sure, listen, Antifa is violent, they suck. We get it, very violent. But the fact that the media has never reported on any of this begs the question, are they complicit? Is the media complicit with all of this?